Hi, Sandi Maki here with a little bit of heavy breathing just before midnight and another installment in the Insights Masterminders Experience book. I was asked by a friend of mine to explain a little bit more about how we put the mastermind groups together because he's not in our area but is definitely thinking about putting together a mastermind experience of his own. So as I was pulling some notes together to send over to him, I was reminded about the awesomeness that exists right here within the stories that our members have been telling. And the book is in progress. It's in editing stages now, so it'll be coming out soon. In the meantime, I wanted to read you another excerpt. It's entitled Hope. Innovation. See the little girl? She's sitting in front of the coffee table. One by one, she pulls Kleenex out of the box on the table. As one comes out, the next one follows. Magic? How does that work? She wonders and pulls out another one. Her mother's watching. She's delighted with the look on her daughter's face and lets the exploration continue. Several decades later, the same mother and daughter are again in front of a tissue box. This time the girl shows her mom how to refill a tissue cube from a big box of tissues. It's no longer magic, now it's logic. This is what it's like to participate in the Insights group. Or to put it another way, explore, experience, experiment, evaluate, evolve, engage, enlighten, excite, and empathize. Burma Shave. One of my first experiences with Insights was as a guest in a business exchange mastermind group. Every session started with each person sharing a piece of good news. This was followed by a discussion or an interactive demonstration. Of course, one of Sandy and Al's interests was ideas on how to promote their new venture. Insights Group first location was in a building on Grand River. Grand River is the road that stretches from downtown Detroit to our state capital in Lansing. There's a nice stretch of lawn right along the road. I thought that it would be ideal for a Burma Shave type of advertising. From Wikipedia, Burma Shave is defined as an early 20th century American brand famous for its advertising gimmick of posting humorous rhyming poems on small sequential highway billboard signs. Here are a few examples. Shaving brushes, you'll soon see 'em, on the shelf. A peach looks good with lots of fuzz. With this veil of toil and sin, your head grows bald. Keep well to the right of the oncoming car. Get your clothes. It was great fun coming up with slogans for Insights in the Burma Shave way. Using the original signs for inspiration, here are some I came up with. Every day, we do our part to make your brain a work of art. Insights Group. Nifty talks for stay-at-homes. Comfy office for those that roam. Insights Group. If you want your brain to grow, come join us for a brain tango. This place is like a parachute. There isn't any substitute. Tempted to try it? Follow your hunch. Be top banana, not one of the bunch. Use our group and we betcha clients won't wait, they'll come and getcha. Many a business used to stand where a spark of an idea wasn't fanned. Ode to the marbles. Jar so big, cost so small. Coolest, smoothest, talk of all. One good talk lasts all day through. Brain feels cool and smoother too. Within this veil of toil and strain, your head grows bald, but not your brain. Do you grunt and grumble, rant and rave? Check us out for a calmer day. Folks who have to travel light always give their brain insight. If harmony is what you crave, come on in, check our enclave. No matter the price, no matter how new, good talk and ideas result in Yahoo! We can't provide you with a date, but we do supply great classmates. I'd heard it praised by my network. I've tried the place. Hot dog, it works. It has its quirks, it has its perks. We have found what really works. Spring has sprung, the grass has riz. Join us now and be a whiz. If knowledge could be called delicious, come on in and try our dishes. It has a tingle and a tang that starts the day off with a bang. For early morning, pep and bounce, a brand new product we announce. The first improvement in many a year for building business is finally here. It was at this time when I got back the comments on the Burma Shave style slogans that I realized I was talking with clear-thinking, educated adults who had never heard of Burma Shave. This happened again in a Toastmasters meeting. From Wikipedia, Toastmasters International is defined as a non-profit educational organization that operates clubs worldwide for the purpose of helping members improve their communication, public speaking, and leadership skills. In the portion of the meeting called Table Topics, the Table Topics Master for the day presents a subject for members to come up and talk about in a 1 to 2 minute impromptu speech. The theme I presented was introductions. As each speaker took their turn at the front of the room, they pulled the name out of a hat. They had to introduce that well-known figure. Imagine my horror when I found out that Sandi didn't know my all-time favorite comedian, Bob Hope. She could not introduce Bob Hope, although she does have a much better idea of who he is now. Message from the universe. Sandi talks a lot about asking the universe, putting something out into the universe. Maybe there's something to it. As it happens with books, I had lent a paperback to a friend's daughter and had not yet received it back. It's one of my favorites and it was on my mind a bit. I kept telling myself, it's just a book and you've read it several times already. Besides, it was only a paperback. The book was Don't Shoot, It's Only Me, Bob Hope's Comedy History of the United States, by Bob Hope with Melville Shabelson. The man wrote the book that should be read in world history classes. After watching 1 or 2 of Bob Hope and Big Crosby's road pictures, they can read the book in his voice. Starting with his first show for the USO during World War II to the war in Vietnam, Bob Hope tells the history of war and peace from his unique viewpoint of a civilian traveling around war zones. Here's a man who told jokes about every president of his time and who was also one of the first civilians to enter Hitler's bunker at the end of World War II. During one show, he mentioned that he was trying to give a real good show because there was a sniper reported in the area. He was not kidding. He joked with the wounded at Mobile Army Surgical Hospitals, MASH, and tried to comfort the crying showgirls that had come to entertain the troops, and found out that the men that they had sung to only hours ago were dead. Al and Sandi loved to read, and I think even more loved to share books. Occasionally, as the Insights Library grew from member donations, they would sort them out and let you pick whatever you wanted from a table stacked high with fact and fiction. No, I did not find that paperback on one of those tables. I found the hard copy version. It was immediately mine. The universe had answered my unspoken wish. The Witch of Oz. One of the many helpful tools that Sandi and Al provided are mastermind groups. I was lucky to have been in their first Insights group. 10 people from 9 different professions. We had 2 awesome decorators, meeting once a week at 7 a.m. over coffee and cola. Although I am a professed night owl, I wanted to be in those meetings when I was there. It was an open-closed discussion, open to all kinds of ideas, and closed to discussion with non-members. Here you could share crazy ideas or detailed plans. Honest opinions were shared, accepted, and rejected. There was much laughter and some tough love. About a year after joining Insights, I felt quite different about interactions with others in the world and tried a fun, from my perspective, experiment. Part of the social atmosphere at Insights is the let's have fun meeting people attitude. Many themed greet and meet events brought strangers together and helped everyone get to know more about the other members. Members were encouraged to dress up for themes, and some went to great lengths. There was always some kind of game to support really getting to know people. The theme for the party where I tried my experiment was The Wizard of Oz. In the planning meeting, as soon as roles were discussed, I took the Wicked Witch of the West. Several movie stars have commented it's such fun to have a wicked role to play, and they were right. At most other events, I arrived early and helped with setup, and then stayed up until the cleanup was done. This time I arrived when the event was scheduled to start, and I left when it was scheduled to end. During those hours, I worked hard to stay in character. I was a bitter woman. My sister had just been killed, and my inheritance was given to some girl that was not even from the neighborhood. I offered everyone mints from a box, marked like an old prescription of dragon liver pills. When someone popped one in their mouth, I let go with a loud witch's cackle, as close to the one in the movie as I could imitate. I had several conversations about how I could assert my legal rights. Breaking and entering my castle and theft and destruction of property were some of my complaints. Do you have any idea how much 3 castle guard uniforms cost? I asked Dorothy and Glenda, the Good Witch of the North, to return my shoes. I booed at the other characters. Moving quite slow with my cane, maybe 0.2 miles an hour, I chased the daughter of one of the members to hide in an office. Several times, Sandy, Al, and others asked me to quit the act because I was freaking them out. The reactions were amazing and very insightful. It was interesting how dependent others had become on knowing who I was, how hard they tried to make me go out of character, how uncomfortable they were with the witch. We talked about it at the mastermind meeting the next day. It had been an unexpected experience for all members who had been there the night before. Over the rainbow. In the first few years as an insights enthusiast, I occasionally sat at the front desk, took calls, and tried to answer questions for anyone who came by. One day the stereo was playing a CD with a single song on it, over and over, and then again. The office with the stereo in it was locked, and neither Al nor Sandy were around. The song was a young man's version of Over the Rainbow. I sang that song for Sandy during one of the evenings Insight sponsored for a new comedy and musical talent. It was hot on stage. Then I found out why singers always hold their mics so close to their mouth. Those mics were rather directional and did not pick up as well if you were not faced in their direction. I also learned that the light blinds you from seeing the audience. It's the silence and then applause that rewards. I've since been very comfortable singing in front of an audience. Hope. So there is hope for me yet that I will continue to learn and explore in many ways. There's hope that I will meet many more people with visions and attitudes that are quite different than my own. Of course, the chances for variety are greatly increased by the association with people who have insights. Which really is an amazing story. If you think about what she shared about the Wizard of Oz experience, that one was really interesting, and it says so much that we become accustomed to knowing each other in our normal, everyday, day-to-day environment. And when anyone acts out of the ordinary, we get freaked out, and we want them to go back to being who we know that they are, the person that we recognize. When if we were just meeting them for the first time, they would be as normal to us as can be. So there is something to be said for being comfortable and recognizing our surroundings and the people that are in it. But is that where creativity comes from? Does creativity and broadening our horizons come from always being the same? I don't think so. It comes from changing. And as much as I, personally, am the hugest advocate of changing and changing it up and doing new and different things just because, I still get stuck in my comfort zones. So it's amazing to have a group of people with which you can talk about your comfort zones and then talk about why you're hung up on the comfort zone, what you might want to do outside of the comfort zone, and what can be done differently. It's also a comfort to know that there's people who've got your back. And even if you're going out to try something crazy and outrageous and wild, which you'll hear about something coming up soon with that, it's great to know that there's people that have your back and that will watch you, support you, share with you, and help you in any way that they can. Whether it's rooting you on to have a new idea, make a little change in your life, or do something wild and crazy like perhaps skate across the country. So more about that later. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this installment of the Insights Group Mastermind book in all its interesting sections, and you'll stay tuned because we have a lot more in store for you.